the Sterling Heights Public Library. My name is Brent, and today, well, it's spring. What do you think of during spring? I think of asparagus. We're going to make an asparagus pie. Come on down, I'll show you a little bit of the ingredients. So, we're going to need some puff pastry. This stuff comes frozen. You can make your own, but it's a lot easier to buy it. I've got some asparagus here, a little bit of ricotta cheese. I'm using the whole milk stuff. I've got some shredded cheese here. This is mozzarella. I'm going to use a little bit of dill, some zest off of a lemon, a little bit of olive oil, and a little salt and pepper. So one of the first things we're going to do here, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. We want to make sure that we get to 400 degrees. Home ovens are sometimes a little bit sketchy on true readings on temperatures. An oven thermometer is kind of handy. This thing here will tell you what the actual temperature is, whatever the setting is. There's a little hook on here. You hang this on the rack somewhere where you can see it, and this will tell you what the temperature actually is. If it's a little low or a little high, you can adjust the setting and get it where you need it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix up the ricotta mixture. So I've got about a cup of whole milk ricotta here. This is about a half a container. That's if you're buying it in the pound container. I've got about 2 teaspoons of lemon zest here and about a tablespoon of dill. Nice pinch of salt. And I'm going to go ahead and use a hand mixer to get this stuff blended together so that we can spread it on the crust. It doesn't take long, you just want to kind of break it up so you can move it around. So I've got some asparagus here, and there's a couple of things about asparagus. For one, this is kind of what you're looking for here, if you can see that. You're looking for a nice tight head on that. Something like this here is acceptable, but you can kind of see that these are starting to open up a little bit and you got some more stems starting to pop there. This is a little bit older shoot than this is. You'll have people sometimes talk about pencil thin asparagus, and that's fine, but there's nothing really that's special about thin asparagus. The one thing you do want to do is try and get the tough lower end off of here. And I just kind of squared it up from the tips there because you don't want the lower end, you want the tip end. And you can snap it, will give you an idea of where the tough end usually starts. Just cut those off like that. I'm going to throw those into a good sized pan for a second. Drizzle them with just a little bit of olive oil, maybe about a teaspoon worth. I'm going to touch them with a little bit of salt, black pepper, and then just kind of toss these together to get everything coated nice. This will be important when we go to bake this all off to make sure everything's got some seasoning and a little bit of oil on it. I've got a baking sheet here, and I've got a little bit of parchment paper on that. This is parchment paper. This is not freezer paper, this is not butcher paper. This stuff is treated with a little bit of silicone, which makes it heat resistant and also helps keep it from things from sticking. This will keep your pan a little cleaner as well. So I've got the puff pastry here, and this stuff usually comes with 2 sheets in a box. One right there. Now you want to work with this stuff while it's cold, but you do want it to be warm enough to be flexible. It's going to come with a little bit of paper that keeps it from sticking to itself. So once you've got your puff pastry laid out, you're going to take your ricotta mixture and start spreading that all over the surface. You can take it right out close to the edges. You don't have to put it all the way to the edge, but you want to get close. And just spread that thinly and evenly. So our asparagus, we're going to go ahead and lay on here. I've got about 16 spears here right now. And we're just going to lay that on here in one even layer. Doesn't have to be exactly 16 spears. That just happens to be about what it takes to fill this pastry sheet fairly evenly. Okay, tuck in one more there. And then I'm going to take about a cup of this shredded mozzarella. Now, I started off with the block and shredded it myself because the stuff that comes pre-shredded has an additive in it to keep it from sticking together, which prevents it from melting real smoothly. You don't have to use mozzarella. A little thinly sliced Swiss or a little bit of provolone would work great for this. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and pop that in the oven at 400 degrees. It's going to take about a half hour. So this is what you want it to look like when it comes out. The exact timing isn't super important, but when you start getting up close to that 20-25 minute mark, start paying attention to it, because you want the cheese to be brown and bubbly. You want the edges to be golden brown and a little bit puffy. You're going to need to let this cool a bit before you can actually use it, because right now it is boiling hot. One of the neat things about the parchment paper is it allows you to slide your cooling rack underneath it with hardly any effort at all. So we're going to let this cool for a little bit. We're going to cut it and we'll give it a try. So this has been cooling for about 20 minutes and it's cool enough to touch now, and the cheese is firmed up a little bit, so it's not going to be molten hot anymore. We're going to go ahead and just cut this, and you can cut it into larger pieces and enjoy it like pizza, or you can cut it into smaller pieces and serve it like an appetizer. So we'll take a piece of that and serve it on a plate. Asparagus tart, give it a try.